Hello, learners. So now let's know some digital and assessment tools that are used in HyFlex learning environment. So how do we bridge the gap between on-site and online students? So first, we must set up the equipment in HyFlex learning environment. Second, plan for parallels. So that means that you will take into consideration the on-site and online environments. So in this case, you are planning the learning activities that is beneficial for both environments. And then the third, we have the add teaching routines to emphasizes the participants or the students from online and on-site. So now let's go to the first one, the setup equipment. So of course, this equipment could be different for each context. So this is somewhat the minimum requirement for a HyFlex learning environment. So at least you have your camera, you have your desktop or laptop, you have projector, microphones, speaker, and of course, internet connectivity. And then we plan for parallels. So when we think of learning activity, we can start thinking about the behavioral engagement involved for each environment, the on-site and online. So for example, presenting a content. So what will be the on-site students do? So mostly either going to view the projected slides on board. At the same time, our online students will do the same. So they will just view that particular slides by share screen or camera. And then the other, we have the whole class discussion. So in this part, we also need to plan how they are going to respond for behavioral engagement. So what we are asking students to do if they are online, like typing their answers on the Jamboard or Zoom chats, or they can use the raise hand icon in Zoom and then unmute themselves. And then for our on-site students, they can raise their hand and then give responses to that particular question. Another learning activity, we have the direct instruction. This is planning for a 60-minute HyFlex session. So in this case, these are the things that you must consider. So the type or duration of segment, what will the teacher do, what will be on-site students do, what will be online students do, and tools and materials. So in this case, you will use the first 20 minutes for demonstration of that skill. So the teacher will just demonstrate the skill on board, and then the on-site students will do is just simply watch and listen on-site. And then for our online students, they will just watch and listen through Zoom or any other video conferencing app. And then the tools and materials used, we have the board, the camera, the projector, the share slides on Zoom. And then the other 20 minutes is intended for your work examples. So here the teacher will just solicit students' participation based from the demonstration earlier. And then the on-site students will just participate by raising their hand. And then for our online students, they will just participate by using the raise hand icon and then unmute yourself. And then these are the tools and materials used. They will use the board, the camera, and then the Zoom. And next, we have the small group discussion. So now on-site, now I can facilitate the face-to-face groupings since we already know from our pre-pandemic teaching days. So here, we have our online, so I can set up breakout rooms as an avenue for them to continue on their small group discussions. So this is the example for a small group discussion, planning for a 60-minute HyFlex session. So these are the things that you must consider: the type, duration of segment, what will the teacher do, who will be on site, or what will be the on-site students do, what will be the online students do, and then the tools and materials. So the first 20 minutes, so I will use that one as presentation of the topic. So in this part, the teacher will just discuss the topic with slides. So the on-site student will just watch and listen on site. And then for our online, they will watch or listen through Zoom. And then the tools and materials used, we have the Google Slides and then the share slides on Zoom. So here, another 20 minutes is intended for the small group discussion. So in this part, the teacher will just give instructions and then time to supervise the work from the group. For their on-site students will just do the discussion in the classroom and then document their discussion on Jamboard. And then for our online, they will use they will discuss that particular small group discussion in the breakout rooms, which are assigned by the teacher, and then document their outputs on the Jamboard. And then here, all you need to do is just prepare a Google Jamboard link and then instruction. And lastly, you are going to do the last minute, the 20 minutes intended for presentation. So in this case, the on-site student will do is just present in front near the mic so that the online participants or online students can hear their particular discussions. And then here, for our online students, they will just present, and then as the teacher, we will just give the opportunity for our learners online to present their work, okay, by just giving by giving the power to share screen their work. And then we have the tools and materials. So we have Google Slides and then share slides on Zoom. And next we have another activity. We have the brainstorming activity. So here our on-site will do is just post on virtual boards. Example, we have Padlet and Jamboard, or they can use the physical boards. And then for our online, so they will post on virtual boards like Padlet and Jamboard. So here I will showing you the two examples used in the brainstorming, the Padlet and Jamboard as the digital tool in brainstorming activity. Brainstorming activity using Padlet. So as you can see, we have here a Padlet title. So which means this is good for sharing and creating and commenting their particular output, wherein your learners will just give their responses in the form of a variety of formats like plain text, or they can also embed images to it. And then another, we have brainstorming using Jamboard. So you throw that particular question and then you get the responses from your learners. And then another learning activity, we have the surveys. So here in our on-site, so we use the polling tools like Mentimeter with a QR code. And then in here, or simply doing this particular survey, they can use their hand, okay, raise their hand, and then give answers to that particular survey. And then we have our online students. Again, they are using a polling tool like Mentimeter with a QR code. So in this part, they will just scan the QR code and then answer that particular survey. And then after that, they can video on their camera and then give responses to it, an explanation, and then they can also use the reactions icon in their Zoom. The next is adding teaching routines. So here, we must insert more pauses to pay attention to both set of students. So here, the waiting time in physical classroom for an easy question, it takes 3 seconds to 5 seconds. But now you are dealing with two environments, two set of students on-site and online. So perhaps the pauses could be longer than 5 seconds. And then we have alternately addressing students for both environments. So maybe I can ask the question facing the room, and then I will go back to the laptop and then facing the camera and say, how about the Zoom students? What do you think? So in that case, I add student engagement for both environments. We have the on-site and then the online students. And then you can also summarize or reiterating what on-site students are saying. So they might not hear what the students are saying, so that's also helps or a big help for them. So notice here that you know the planning that we do in face-to-face sessions are synchronous sessions. It's a matter of thinking about parallel activities that on-site students will do and online students will do in such that they will have the same set of learning opportunities or experiences. And those are the assessment tools in HyFlex learning environment.